You can only think of what you have been exposed to. Growing up here in Worthington, I was exposed to wonderful people and experiences. I think positively of all of you because of my positive experiences here. When I think in English. I can't think in German. It's not my mother tongue. I think in English because it has been repeated to me from day one. It's what I've been exposed to. I'm not very skilled on a snowmobile. In fact, the second time I rode one, I crashed, broke my neck, and became paralyzed from my chest down. At that moment, I entered a completely different reality. When my body worked, I didn't notice the lack of ramps at buildings. I didn't pay attention to the height of tables or the width of doors. The texture of the terrain didn't matter too much. I didn't pay attention to how many handicap spots there were, or if the doors had push buttons. Then, I was thrust into a world where all of that mattered. I realized how fortunate I was before. Some would say, privileged. When I was an able-bodied person, these sources of anxiety and discomfort did not exist for me. I was blind to them. Now, did that mean I did not care about handicapped people before I became one? No, not at all. But it was at that point I knew other realities were possible. Maybe, just maybe, if I would have had someone handicapped around to let me know what life was like for them and share their perspective, I would have been more aware. I would have shown them grace. It's the kind-hearted thing to do. It is the human thing to do. It's hard to imagine a scenario where they shared their pain and I rebutted, well, what about parking spots for all of us? I like to think when they expressed how hurt they couldn't get inside of their friends' houses anymore, that I wouldn't have told them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, or that there is no problem accessing buildings because some study told me. I certainly wouldn't have pointed out the one guy in a wheelchair who did something bad one time. And no way would I have gone on to list the struggles that able-bodied people face as a counter to their pain. Other viewpoints, other realities exist, whether you acknowledge them or not, whether you're aware of them or not. By refusing to consider other perspectives, we rob ourselves of a more clear reality. Instead of differences, may we see the overlap, the similarities. A brief look at our history will show you injustices, many bad things. May we learn from them. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Positive examples, the ones that serve as a standard for the world we want to see. And may we realize that life is a journey, not a destination. May we meet each other with understanding as we work through real pain, fear, and discomfort. And may we see that discomfort is the pathway to growth. The plant must break free from its shell and push through the soil before it grows. Shun not the struggle. May we see that perhaps all things are possible with patient practice. May we realize that we are imperfect beings. Just as we forgive ourselves for our past mistakes and transgressions, we must work to forgive others. May we give each other unmerited grace so that we may finally find peace. Why not us? Why not now?